Okay, we're going live. We're live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to my New Year's gift to you, a short and potent money class with Julia. Because this free Google Hangout is actually a kickoff to a series that I am starting tomorrow, and it's another 5 readings of the How to Become Money workbook class. And I facilitated this class. I facilitated this class basically every week since January. I have not stopped facilitating this class. I have read the money workbook 18 times now, and I was thinking about January, and I couldn't imagine my January going by without reading it another 5 times. So I am starting tomorrow. There's still time to join. And the last one that I did that was an online class, I had set it for 5 classes, and we couldn't actually read through the whole book within 5 classes, and I was trying to make that happen, and so it would be like 2.5-hour classes, like the longest telecalls in history, and it was just a bloody mess. So we turned it into 10 classes, and this group is going to be 10 classes. It's going to be kind of sporadically through January. All the dates are on the website. And we're going to go through and see what we can change. And I have a lot to talk about. I don't know if a half an hour is going to be enough, but I do have a lot to talk about today about money and what we want to create in the world. And the How to Become Money workbook class is going to be very much a discussion on that. And for me, it's really hard to read by myself. I just can't do it anymore with computers and my iPhone all the time, and having, done a university degree. It's like I've read and read and read and read. So to actually sit myself down and read has not been the easiest task, as I'm sure for many humanoids it is. So I'm really looking forward to just getting through the book and doing it as a group, because when we do it as a group, it's like things bounce off everybody else's world in different ways that they can't when it's just you reading alone. So it's just been a huge gift. So I just wanted to invite you guys to that right off the hop. And today, in this next half hour, I have so much to say. And people have sent in questions, and I know there's some of you on the line here. I recently have been on Gary's Advanced Money, How to Become Money workbook series. And he proposed this question to us. What would you choose if you got $100,000 every year and it was replenished? Sorry, $100 million, not 100,000. And I've pondered this question for years. I was in a class when Dane gave it out maybe 3 years ago. And this has always been a question in my world, and as I keep reading and keep going, I get a lot more consciousness on this area, and things are really, really starting to be fun. And so I asked myself this question that Gary posed to all of us, and my answer was, okay, so if I had $100 million every single January, it got put into my bank account, it was my money to invest, to keep, to buy whatever I wanted, to do whatever I wanted. I was like, okay, really, Jules, like, what would you do? And the first thing that I got was a private jet. And I'm like, really? Like, I kind of left my body and kind of looked at Julia, asking herself the question. And it was like, really, Jules? Like, that's what you're asking for? I'm like, how many people in the world are asking for that? Like, if they won the lottery or had unlimited supplies of money, would ask for a private jet. And I was like, fucking everybody would. Everybody would ask for a private jet. And so I was like, that actually doesn't belong to me. And I'm like, with $100 million, okay, I would buy a private jet, but would that really be my first priority? And I was like, no, it wouldn't. And so I had this huge awareness of, like, would I really, like, do I really give a shit about designer clothes in the way that I pretend to? Do I really give a shit about jewels in the way that I pretend to? Do I really give a shit about that big of a mansion the way I pretend to? And I was like, it would be nice, and I would choose it. But I'm like, what else would I create that I'm not considering? And there have been so many projects and ideas that have come to my awareness that I would create if I had that money. But that's never been, it's like, it's like sort of sometimes in access classes, people be like, I choose this, I choose this. I would have the biggest mansion on the top of the hill in the Beverly Hills, and it's like, that stuff is awesome. And I'm like, but that's not me. That's not actually Julia. And so this is all part of what we talked about in the last free Google Money Hangout that I did, where I talked about what is your financial reality, and how I said that I found a huge piece of my financial reality, this energy, when I was in the ghetto of Vancouver. And it's like, who are you actually financially? It's like I have a few people who don't do Access who have sort of given me griff or whatever it's called for doing all these classes on money, like as though I'm money hungry or I really care about money, or like, you know. And I'm like I kind of have gone into in the past, like, am I? And it's like, no. But if you're going to change the world, is it easier to do it with money, or is it easier to do it without money? But it's like, nobody can create money if they don't have a point of view about how they're going to change reality, if they aren't making the choice to change reality. So it's like, if you're asking for a private jet and a BMW, the universe cannot provide you with that. That's just not going to happen unless you are willing to contribute the gift that you are to the world. So I was driving home and thinking about this hangout and thinking about what I'm going to say to you guys and what's really been coming up for me. And the question I want to pose to you is, if you had $100 million that was replenished every January 1st, which was yesterday, we'd really be dancing today if that was the case, because it's January 2nd. If you had $100 million that was put in your account yesterday, what project would you put your time into? What would the project be? Because Gary Douglas, the founder of Access, has the place that he's building, and the universe has supported him financially to create it. I know lots of people. My sister, she is building a school in Laos. Just a lot of people ask me, where's Laos? It's a country by Cambodia. She's helping build a school there because she wrote a book. She's a bloody saint, my sister. She's something else. She wrote a book, and all the proceeds of that book are building a school in Laos. And so it's like, what project would you put your time and money towards if you had $100 million? And I don't want anyone to confuse the point here to say that I necessarily think everyone should be a humanitarian, that everybody should be building some sort of village or some sort of school or some sort of hotel or some sort of, consciousness resort. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm asking you is, what can you give to the world? And I'm putting the word project in because it's a different energy that nobody in Access has talked about that came to me. It's like, what would you put your money into as a project that you are not choosing right now, that if you chose it, would allow the money to come for the project and for the BMW and for the mansion and for the everything, everything, everything? It's like, what are you not working on because you're waiting for the money? Would you be willing to start working on that project in whatever way it looked like, whatever it took, whatever that was, drawing plans, having fun, just clearing about it, asking questions. One of the questions I've been asking recently, I've actually developed a couple new questions that I'm really excited about, and they have been bringing funds in a really fast way. The one recently that I've been asking is, what do I truly desire financially? Because in the last Google Hangout I facilitated with you guys, the question was, what do I truly desire? Now, what do you truly desire financially? And when Gary says, what would you like to create in the world, it's like, I think people miss the point sometimes. It's like, it's such a huge question, and it's too much, and it's overwhelming. So it's like, instead of that, what if we took the step of, what project would you like to create? And oftentimes it's not going to cost you as much as you think it is. Like, I am really, really excited about photography. And I would like to, and not fancy photography, but like interesting sort of colorful photography and objects and stuff. And I was like, I have to take a photography course and I have to get professional lighting and I have to get this kind of camera and all this stuff. And then I took some pictures on my iPhone and I'm like, these pictures are unbelievably beautiful. And I'm like, the professional lighting. I looked online how much professional lighting costs. It's $130 for amazing professional lighting off Amazon. So I ordered it. It's like, what do you think costs a lot more money that you're waiting to choose? That if you didn't wait to choose it, you just chose it and researched it, would allow you to just start creating that project. Because everybody's sitting around waiting for the day when the money shows up. The money will not show up until you begin creating the future that you see. And the amazing thing about this is that nobody else will create it. You are an untapped market because there's only one of you. So if you don't do it, nobody's going to do it. Nobody's going to do it. You're going to be robbing the world of whatever you have to give. So there is no time limit. It doesn't mean you have to do it tomorrow. Nobody's, consciousness isn't going to leave you if you don't do it tomorrow. But, like, what if now was the time? What could you create? What could you start? And what are you sitting around waiting for? How much money are you waiting for before you start? And everything that is times, oh, you guys, that's awful energy. Everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So how much money are you waiting for before you start? And everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod and poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, I have a question here. Somebody emailed in. Here's my question. Okay. How can I stop linking money and working for it? I always conclude I have to do something to earn money. Yeah. And what if you didn't have to do something to earn money? You just had to be something different. And what if what you had to be was a creative energy behind the project that you know is possible? And everything that doesn't allow that, times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, so how can I stop linking money and working for it? I always conclude I have to do something to earn money. Could I just sit still or play and be happy and have money? Would this be possible? Energy is really coming up when I ask this, but then I feel like I'm crazy. Money has to come from somewhere, doesn't it? Okay, cool. That's a good question. So I have this friend who does Access, and do you know what she asked when she came to Access? She said, oh, I wish I could just sit around and laze around in my bed all day and make money for it. And now she's an online dominatrix, and she makes more than a doctor. She has created an amazing business that she absolutely loves, being a dominatrix. She never sees the men in person. She never shows herself on camera. She just has pictures that I don't even think are nude. She just has pictures and she talks to men on the phone and gets them excited. And they love it and they love her and she loves her life. So it's like you don't have to do anything to create money. You just have to be something. So if you would like to just sit around and make money for sitting around, it's possible. Most people aren't willing to receive as much as she is, but it is possible. So everywhere you're not willing to receive money for sitting around and doing nothing, everywhere you decided you had to work for it, or you're a disgusting, lazy person, will you destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion. Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod and poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So what does money mean to you that it doesn't actually mean? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So in the money workbook, the How to Become Money workbook, there's a question, and the question is, um, they ask you to take out $100 bills and picture yourself throwing them in the fireplace. And then it says take out $100 bills, $1,000 worth of $100 bills, and throw that in the fireplace. And then take $50,000 worth of $100 bills and throw that into the fireplace. And on it goes until it's past $1 million. And then he says, that's what you're doing in your life right now. There is tons of money to be received every day. The economy is an invention. Lack is an invention. And every day we choose to throw money away rather than have it based on the significance we've decided money is. So everywhere you bought that you did not have the right to money, will you destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion. Right and wrong, good and bad, all 9 pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyond. And I know there's some people listening who I can hear their heads being like, yeah, I don't have a right to have money. And I know these people have money. So would you all be willing to acknowledge that you have more money than you know? Because you can't create beyond something if you haven't acknowledged where you're at. If you lay around going, I'm so fucked up, I'm so screwed up, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not doing things right, you can't create more. You create your reality. So everywhere you have bought that you are not as wealthy as you are, will you destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion. Right and wrong, good and bad, all 9, pod and poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. All right. So I don't even think I answered her question at all. Yeah, it was, could I just sit still and play and be happy and have money? Yes, you could, my dear. Would this be possible? Yes, it would. Energy is really coming up when I ask this. So everywhere you're not willing to sit around and make money for it, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, all 9, pod and poc, shorts, boys, beyonds. And there is also the converse side of this, where some people who have become too metaphysical or have used the tools of access against themselves have the point of view that they can just sit around and ask for it and they don't have to do anything. You do have to do things. There's no such thing as a passive income. Passive incomes do not exist. You have to choose and be in the creative energy of your life if you want money to come. Because money only comes to the party of fun. And most people are having no fun in their lives. Most people are not in the creative, juicy projects, creating them that they know are possible. They're sitting around on the sidelines asking, how does it get better than this? What else is possible? Like access zombies. So, the question I also want to pose here is, how much fun would you have to be having with your projects in order to create a different reality? In order to have all the money you know is possible? So, what do you truly desire to create in the world? I can feel everybody's heads wondering and sprawling out, and the brains are going, huh, I've never considered this before. So everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive that awareness, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, all 9, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. I mean, you have to understand that the awareness might not come instantly. And you want to just keep asking and writing things down and trying new things and playing with energies, and eventually it will come. It's like I started doing this money workbook 4 years ago, and parts of it changed my life instantly. And other parts, I mean, I'm reading the book 4 years later, you know, for the 18th time, and I'm getting new awareness and new awareness and new awareness. So, everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive what you would like to create in the world, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, all 9, pod and poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. All right, I'm going to open it up for questions. Does anybody have questions right now?
I have a question.
Daniel! Sir,
Okay.
what is your question?
This is the thing. So, like, I've just been asking questions and doing this thing for quite some time now, and then you just asked, "What would you like to create in the world?" And it's like, haven't I asked that before? And like nothing came up. Like, how on earth has nothing come up?
Yeah, exactly. It's like how many times do I have to ask this? How hard do I have to work? But it's like how many times would you have to ask before it actually showed up? And the answer to that is once. Because the universe doesn't know time. It's like Simone Milasas was explaining this to us on the Benevolent Capitalism Hangout last week. So, and she said, this is a silly example. I hope that you guys get it. But I'll change it a little bit. But the example she gave was, if you pay, actually hers was a bit different, but if you pay for something in the mail, do you know that that package is coming? You put your money online on the credit card, and you know that that package is coming. You don't know exactly when it's coming, but you know you've paid for it, you know you've asked for it, you know they have your shipping address, and it's going to show up on your doorstep eventually. So would you be willing to be patient with your awareness and patient with yourself? And everything that doesn't allow that, times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, no, everybody's muted. Damn it. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So you really only have to ask once. But the more you ask, the more you get into the energy that creates and generates. So just know that you don't have to ask every second of every day, but the more that you ask, the more committed you are to being the question. It's not about what you do. See, even there's a difference between asking questions, and being the question. And at first, you're going to be doing asking questions. You're going to have to remember to go, okay, so what would I like to create in the world? If I had $100 million put into my bank account today, what would I choose? You know? And then after a while, you don't have to do anymore. You just get to be the question. And you start walking through the world the way I walk through the world, which is like, oh my gosh, look at the mountain. Look at the grocery store. Hey, it's my mom. It's like, where am I? What do I get to do today? What do I get to choose? It's like I'm learning more and more that I don't really have a preference between things. I like everything. I like living. I like being here. I don't really care where I am or who I'm with or what's going on. I'm just happy to be alive. And it's not in a Pollyanna kind of, skipping through the daisies way. It's like there is so much to experience and do here, but there's always this thing that lives in the mind that says, there's probably something better I could be choosing right now. I probably should be an actress in Hollywood rather than me. I probably should have this kind of relationship than the relationship I have. It's like, what if you commit to where you're at now and what you have now and start enjoying the fuck out of it? There is nowhere else you're supposed to be. You chose to be on this planet. If you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. You're not trapped here, no matter what kind of circumstance you're in. And if you are here and you're choosing to be here, it's like, would you be willing to commit to being here? Shannon O'Hara gave a wonderful talk where she talked about when you're suicidal or you're not committed to your life, money can't show up. Being suicidal, and I actually was pretty suicidal at the time. I've been suicidal in the past, and she said, when you're suicidal, money can't show up because money is a part of being in life and experiencing the world, and when you're choosing not to do that, you can't have money. So, any lifetime, anywhere this lifetime you were suicidal and you cut off all your money flows completely, will you destroy and uncreate all of that and all the beyonds?
Yep.
Cool. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yeah. And so everywhere that you cut off your money flows with an unwillingness to enjoy the fruits of the world and cherry pick all the best possibilities and leave the crappy ones for those who want crap, will you destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion? Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine pot and pock, shorts, boys and beyonds. It's the age-old saying, you know, you can't help those who don't want help. You'll just get it. You'll just get spit in. They'll just spit in your face because it's a form of superiority. It's going, my reality is better than your reality. The fact that you're homeless is inferior to the fact that I have a home. Well, most people who have homes have to go to work and commute to work for 2 hours a day and work for 8 hours a day and kiss ass to some sort of boss that they don't like, and they have to spend all the rest of their time paying bills and making sure their automobile is insured and making sure that their house is insured and making sure this and this. Guy on the street has all of the time. He can do whatever he wants with this day. It's like, is it really inferior or is it just a choice? So everywhere you decided you were in the inferior life and there was a greater life out there for you, will you destroy and create all that times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. There's not a greater life out there for you, but there is a greatness that comes when you dive deep into the life you've already created and change the things that don't work for you. But do not throw out your life trying to prove that you have to destroy something before you can create something new and something better. So everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. How's it 4:30? How did we finish? We have 3 minutes left. Does anybody else have questions? Thanks for that, Daniel. Everybody else is good?
I just wanted to say one more thing about
Yeah.
what you said people receive. You can't give to somebody who's unwilling to receive. This morning I asked something about money, and it was like who could I help with money? And it was like these really happy children running around the world and playing in like the sun and like distant countries. It's like that's what money is. It's like the ability to help the people who are having enough fun to want to receive.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So anywhere you bought that money was about helping the sad people, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys and beyonds. And everything you learned from World Vision, will you destroy and uncreate all that blame, shame, regret, guilt, everything that is? Oh my God, that's so fucking heavy. And all of the eat your peas because the kids in Africa are going hungry. Everything that, all of those energies of superiority, will you destroy and uncreate them all? Right, wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yeah, it's like we really do choose where we are in the world, and it's like happiness will change the world. It's like the unhappy people will have no choice but to be happy. I talked, all the calls are just morphing together, but I talked in a call about how one day consciousness and happiness, if I get where I'm going, because I'm going, I don't care if nobody goes with me, I don't care if everybody else dies. I'm creating the world I'm creating. So if I create the world I'm creating, and you guys create the realities you know are possible, there will be a world where a baby is born and they won't have to suppress, you know how there's a happy baby? They will not have to suppress themselves into the sadness, unconsciousness, and discomfort of this reality. They will not have to suppress themselves. And so it's like now you're conscious, born into an unconscious world. What if you were conscious, born into a conscious world, and you grew and got greater and happier as the days went by and kept creating your reality? You didn't have to suppress it into your parents' worlds. So, and I actually see this happening. I know people who parent consciously, and it is changing. And where will we be in 100 years if we keep choosing what we're choosing? So, everywhere you bought that unconsciousness was the only choice, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, beyonds. Awesome. Well, that was a really fast 30 minutes. But I said it would be short and potent. So, I would love for you guys to join me on this series. This Google Hangout was an unsubtle plug for the series because I know the series is going to be amazing. And I think I'm charging something like $145 for 10 calls, which is ridiculously inexpensive. But I was just like, I'm going to be reading anyway, so everyone might as well join me. We're going to have a lot of fun. So And just keep asking yourselves, what project can you create in the world? If you had $100 million, what would you create with it? Oh, I love the energy of that. I can just feel everybody going, oh. Awesome. Well, have an amazing January 2nd. I hope to spend a lot of classes and time with you in 2016, and we'll talk to you again. Bye, everyone.